Hey, yes, indeed. Look, here we are. It's me, John Park. It's time for John Park's Workshop here on a good Thursday. Back to Thursdays. Why is that? Well, because Phil and Lamore are in Brooklyn, and they are set up for showing their Ask an Engineer things again. So that's happening on Wednesday nights, and I'm back to Thursdays. So thanks for joining me here today. I absolutely failed to remember that today is 808 Day, which is traditionally a holiday for celebrating the 808 drum machine. So failed that. Sorry. Maybe I used some samples in this intro song. I think maybe I did. Can't remember. Sure. Let's say I did. Welcome to our chat. Over in our YouTube chat, hello Dave Odessa. Got your coffee ready. That is fantastic. And over in our Discord chat, there's that thing. Is that an oh hi? Is that what that is? Someone said oh hi. And who else is here? We've got Andy Calloway, Thin Man, C. Grover, Starman, Paul Cutler, Todd Bott, Tyeth. Hello, thank you. Yes, it's good to be back on Thursdays. Let's see what's going on here today. I've got a coupon code for you. I will give you a discount code you can use to get 10% off in the Adafruit store. I've got a recap of my Tuesday product pick show. I've got fresh CircuitPython Parsec for you. And I've got a Learn Guide recap to do. Is that what I call those? I'm going to go over a recently published Learn Guide I just did. I'm going to stay hydrated. You should too. And I've got a project that I've kicked off. I mentioned this yesterday and showed off a little bit on Show and Tell, which is an Instagram photo frame. You can see it right there, along with Lars and a bunch of CRTs. I did some rearranging in the workshop, so I made some of my CRTs even more accessible. Woo! And what else? I was gonna maybe even dive back a little bit into some of the RS-232 serial stuff that I showed on that Tuesday show, because I'm super excited about it. Dave says, what happened to the big plasma TV? It's over there. I don't have a way to move this camera. I don't have a good way to move this camera. Can you see? Let's see. No, I'm just gonna break things if I do that. I'll give you a tour sometime, but I've got believe it or not, a big enough piece of wall that I hung the plasma on the wall, but then I have a acro bin cart that rolls in front of it when I'm not using it, just because I'm out of space, and then I can move that out of the way and watch movies and play games on it. It's excellent. So, not that you should play games on non-CRTs, right? What am I thinking? But yes, it happens. So, Let's see, are we all set? Are we good to go? I mentioned the Discord. If you're over in a chat on, yeah, mirror at an angle would be a good idea. If you're over at a chat happening somewhere like, I don't know, Facebook, if that's working right now, I think Facebook is a little broken, Twitch, something like that, Periscope, and you're saying, hey, LinkedIn Learning, I'm here, there's a show, who's he talking to? It's this right here, that's our Discord. If you want to get there, just go to adafruit.it, that's our URL shortener, adafruit.it, and a slash and the word Discord. That'll take you to the Adafruit Discord, what do we call it? Server. And in that server, there are many channels, including that one right there, live broadcast chat. That's where people are hanging out, including this duck. Let me see. You know what? You say mirror at an angle, but I actually do have a camera I can point over there. Will that work? Let's see. Let's see what that does. Sure. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so there's no light over there. But you see that? See that acro bin? It's got Lego on one side and a bunch of microcontroller part kind of things on the other. Now, I can slide that out of the way, and there's the CRT, or just a big black void. You probably can't differentiate them because of the lighting. But yeah, I had it up on the workbench for the Tuesday show, and it can't stay there, so now I've got to... But I'm proud of that plasma, because we had it going strong. Pull this back over here. We had it going strong since 2011. Including 2 repairs. When we first got it, within a year, it started to buzz like crazy, especially when the screen was bright. And it turned out, there might not have been a recall, but it turns out they used the wrong, about 20 or 30 of this tiny little screw that screwed in a whole bunch of the innards of the thing to like a backboard. They used the wrong screw. There was supposed to be one with like a lock washer on it. So I replaced those, and it stopped buzzing like that. So anyway, it's a cool TV. But we recently got a new TV, and I wasn't about to let that one go. So there it is. Let's see, what else is going on? From the chat, we have a virtual 808 for 808 day. Ooh, look at this. Look at that handsome looking 808. Did you know, by the way, that's what my desktop desk mat is there. That's also an 808 drum machine desk mat, as is a keyboard that I have inside. So what is this thing, Todd? Todd just sent that over in the chat. It's a gorgeous looking drum machine. Can we play it? Where's the run button? Start, stop. There we go. Okay, I don't hear it. I'll probably break my audio if I try to noodle with that too much. But hey, cool, thanks for that. Yeah, head over to the Discord. There's a link there. It's called io808.com. And I'm guessing it's some accurate samples from an 808. Who said that? Andy Calloway, you need a bigger workshop. Yeah, if I get rid of any other TVs, I definitely will. This one's a decent size, but it's crammed, sure. Crammed full of stuff that I only know where it is. Good thing not another person tries to work in here. Yanisku says there's some 808 on Twitch today as a new DJ category. That's cool. I had a Roland, not a Roland. I had a, I hate to say it, a Behringer, which is almost a bad word. They have some questionable things going on over there. Not to malign anybody, but you tend to see a lot of discomfort around synth people talking about Behringer for some of the attitudes they have and things they've done in the past. But I did have one of their recreations of an 808. I sold it, got rid of it, and I now have a little boutique 808 that is from Roland, but it is a digital one, unlike the Behringer, which was basically a recreation. Anyway, that's all the 808 content here for today. So let's get on with the show. So hey, look, framed. That is your coupon code. If you want to go to the Adafruit store and you want to get yourself some stuff and you want it put into an envelope or a box and shipped to you, and then you can open it and use it, but you want to save exactly 10% of the retail price, then this is the coupon code for you. Framed. That will save you 10% off in the store today. So head on over to Adafruit. This is Adafruit. Look, that right there. Go to Adafruit. Look for some cool new stuff. You can go to View All New Products right there from the main page. And guess what? We've got a couple of 3 of these fancy new Raspberry Pi microcontrollers. That was just announced today, the RP2350. It is the next generation in the RP2XXX line of microcontrollers from Raspberry Pi. And so the Raspberry Pi Pico 2, that we'll be selling that. I think that's going to be like $5. We'll have a Feather RP2350, and we'll have a Metro RP2350 coming soon, so you can sign up to get more info on those. And then there'll be plenty others. I'm sure we'll do Itsy Bitsies and Cutie Pies and KB2040s and those kinds of things, or KB2350s. That's going to take a lot of getting used to for me. So you can't get those now, so they won't do you any good with that coupon code. But if you want to get a snap-on enclosure for the Cutie Pie, this is a much larger than I thought it was. I kind of misjudged what the heck this was. Look, there's a Cutie Pie on it. It's got tons of room with these little rails to screw on sensors and things, and hang it and strap it to stuff. Good for IoT things. Brent Rubel was, I think, the original requester of a design like this, and this was designed by the Ruiz brothers, 3D printed, and everyone loved it enough that we had some made at JLC PCB, I think, or PCBWay, on their SLA machines. So those are a sintered nylon, I think, possibly. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, you can get one of those right now for 7.50 minus 0.75. So I can't do that math, but that's less. That's probably $5 and something and a quarter, something like that. Other things, we've got a new RS-232 breakout, as well as the one that I showed on Tuesday. Down here somewhere, got other snap fit enclosures and on. I won't tell you what to get what you like, but save some money when you do so. Save 10% by typing this in right here, framed. And that's good on physical stuff that you can have shipped. It does not work on gift certificates, subscriptions, or software. And there are a few restrictions, and I actually don't know where. I need to find this out. I said this last time and I forgot. Which things are restricted? I think a few things from Raspberry Pi might not have that applied to it. So maybe poke around in here. I'm guessing we mentioned something. Maybe it's in an FAQ. Is that it? I don't know. Restrictions? Restrictions? Could be in there. Could be in there. Sure. Let's look for restrictions. Restrictions. Buying restrictions, no. All right. I promise. Someone bug me with this. I promise to find out. Okay, so that's your coupon code. Next up, let's do a little recap of my product pick of the week. So this is the product pick show from Tuesday. I picked a cool new thing. I got to learn how to use it, do some demos, and give you a big discount during the show. Here is a recap. That's the product pick this week. It is the RS-232 PAL. It's a UART to RS-232 breakout. I have a little box over here that is an HDMI switcher. It has RS-232 serial command interface on it. So you can hook it up to, in this case, the RS-232 PAL over UART to a microcontroller. In this case, there's a Feather ESP32S3 over there, with Wi-Fi on it. If I come over to my Adafruit I/O dashboard and hit HDMI 1, it's going to send the command to the switcher to let whatever is plugged into HDMI 1. I can go over to HDMI 2. There's a Nintendo Over here is a Super Nintendo. And then if I go to HDMI 4, I have a little video synthesizer called an IZ. Right there, that's my product pick of the week this week. It is the RS-232 PAL. It is a UART to RS-232 breakout board. Ha ha ha! I forgot my audio. Thank you for everyone. Yeah. All right. So I'll say it again. Thank you. So I just want to show a little more about what I was demoing there yesterday. So this is a Feather ESP32S3. I have it wired TX, RX ground and 3-volt power to the little breakout that goes UART over to the RS-232. And then I've got connected to that a breakout that just sends the serial over a DB9 connector. Then, let's see, in this case, here is the little HDMI switcher I was using. So you can see there's a StarTech HDMI switcher. It has, weirdly, a little bit to me, it has one, I guess it's convenience, it has one HDMI in on the front, has 3 in on the back, and then it has an output. So that goes to one monitor that can switch among them, the 4 inputs. So you can click this button to switch. What they did as a sort of size-saving measure is they put an RJ11, is it 11 or 14? I don't know, a phone connector type, 6 conductor, I think, phone connector type jack there. And they supplied with it this cool little doodad, which goes from, it's kind of nice because you can run this longer if you need to, a little phone jacky guy to a DB9E guy. And that's what I plugged into the whole Feather and breakout. So Wi-Fi commands going to this, we're just telling the little HDMI switcher what to do. So that was the actual setup there. I just wanted to show you. I just want to confirm, is there sound now? I'm still getting messages from people saying they can't hear, but I'm assuming that that was just a slight delay. And I see sound meters. So yeah, just pipe up if you actually can hear me now. Hopefully you heard all of that. I'm gonna wait a second before I put this all away. Usually I see a few, yes, we have sound. Oh, thank you, Paul Cutler. Yeah, we have sound, all good. So that was the setup on there. Interestingly, I've also got some of my old broadcast reference monitors, BVMs, that also use an RS-232 serial connection to basically connect the tube and the TV, which has almost no buttons on it, to the controller that tells it kind of a million different things. So it's a lot of those protocols are available because they were meant for IT people, essentially, and broadcast engineers to noodle with stuff and set 30 TVs all to be the same color temperature and that kind of stuff without going around and dialing them in. So those were also sent over the serial connector. All right, so that was product pick, and let us know about what kinds of things you're using those for. I know some people grabbed a handful, said they had some cool uses for them with the different industrial equipment. It doesn't just have to be old stuff. In fact, that's a very modern switcher there, and a ton of different interesting things that you can interface with using your UART over to RS-232. Okay, next up, let's do a CircuitPython Parsec. So let me get that set back up over here. And here we go. Maybe I'll even remember to keep my microphone on. CircuitPython Parsec. All right, audio and everything. Let me get my Sublime text out. Okay, so for the CircuitPython Parsec today, I'd like to show you how you can print out really nicely the pins on your microcontroller inside of the REPL. So we've used help commands before, like import board, dir board, those types of things, and those will give you a sort of big strung together single line of all the pins on your microcontroller. But over in the Adafruit forums, there was a question about some code, and someone put together a really nice example, and I'll give you a link to this later, of using the microcontroller and board definitions, or rather the microcontroller and board libraries, to then ask for a list, query which of those are actually pins, and print them out nicely and neatly. So what I'll do is simply rerun this, and you'll see microcontroller pin assignments, and then we get this great list for, in this case, it's a Feather RP2040. We can see we've got boards A123, the boot, which is also called, it has an alias, button, board D0, which is also an alias to RX, board D1, which is TX, 10, 11, 12, 13, which is also the LED, and so on. So these are the names of the pins that you can use in your code in CircuitPython, as well as some of the aliases for things that might not be necessarily silkscreen printed on the board, but are names that you can use legally. The way this is done is time is imported, board and microcontroller. We just sleep a moment to let things settle in the printout, basically. And then in the main loop, we are creating a list called board pins. And then we are running through each of the microcontroller.pin list items. So you can do that just in regular help. And then we check and see if it's an instance of an actual pin, because some other things show up sometimes. We don't want those. We just want the ones that are actually pins. We're going to add them to this list called pins. And then we're also going to grab their aliases, which are some of those alternate names like boot and button, or D1 and TX. And then we can go ahead and print those with a nice little bit of formatting here so they look neat and happy. You could even copy and paste those into your code. If you take a look at the normal import board, say, and grab the list, this is what it normally looks like. It's not super neat. It gives you a lot of the info, although it doesn't have any of that aliasing stuff. But instead, if we allow the code to run here, you can see you get the perfect little list, a nice little code snippet to have on hand as a little convenience for your coding. And so that is how you can get really nice pin names out of your microcontroller inside of CircuitPython. And that is your CircuitPython Parsec. And I will go over into the chat over on Discord and just paste in that forum topic. And then when I repost this video tomorrow, I'll include a code snippet link as well as a link to the original article. It was about a bigger topic, but I thought this was a super convenient little bit of code to have around for grabbing pin names without having to go and do a bunch of surfing of websites and checking for diagrams. All right. So let's see. Next up, what did I say we were doing? Let's do a little Learn Guide review. So this one is the most recent one I've published. I worked on this a few weeks ago, but in the move and the shuffle, we got a little slowed down on actually reviewing it and editing it and getting it put up. So it is up. The good news is there's still time to grill. In fact, you can grill any time of the year that you like. But this guide, if you remember, I showed some of the components of this on the show a few weeks back. This allows you to take a Bluetooth-capable thermometer, which in the case of the one I have there, they're about $50 and has 6 different probes. So you can plug those into different things that you're cooking or smoking. and check their temperature, and it will send over Bluetooth the temperatures to your phone or tablet. However, with the ESP32S3 and some of the other ESP32s, we have both a Bluetooth and a Wi-Fi capability on them. So we decided to use this as a bridge. You can see that little box sitting there on the corner of my grill shelf there. That has a battery and a ESP32S3 in it. It is receiving the grill temperatures as well as the battery level of that unit, and it is then rebroadcasting them over Wi-Fi to Adafruit I/O. So I have a dashboard up, and you can see a little image of it there that's showing some temperatures, and we can do things like safe ranges for chicken and stuff like that. So we can have our gauge be read until it gets up into the 120 to 165 range. Don't eat chicken at 120. I should be careful what I say. But in this case, we were approaching 165, which is safe for chicken. And you can then watch those values from the comfort of a nice big computer display. You don't have to use a phone with the Bluetooth app on it. You can simply have these go up to your Adafruit I/O, which means you can then do things like have alerts. You can have emails and messages sent when a thing reaches a certain temperature. So that's the impetus behind it. Here is in the guide. Actually, I'm going to go back to the main page here. You can see this is the part list. So either a ESP32S3 with the 8 megs of flash, no PSRAM, or the version that has you can either have the built-in PCB antenna or use a little external antenna to just get some better range on your Wi-Fi. And then in this case, I've got a little battery and a power switch on it. And then the Bluetooth service that we're using is iBarbecue. It's one of iBBQ. It's one of the most popular ones on generic devices. So you can check the forums and barbecue places where people do DIY stuff online to find out if a particular one you're looking at getting will work with it. Inkbird and Easy BBQ are two brands to look for. I think I may have one live link in there, but these change a lot, especially if they're pointed at stuff on Amazon. They just tend to change out the models enough and even the brands enough that you can't always be sure. So here is the code. You can download the project bundle here. By the way, if you're not familiar with the project bundles in Learn Guides, these are great because if you click this download project bundle, you'll not only get the code, but you will get all the libraries that are used by that code with their latest release version for the two most current versions, large version numbers of CircuitPython. So that should come with 8.x and 9.x. And then you'll just grab, depending on which version of CircuitPython you're using, you can grab that entire set of libraries and put them on your board so you don't have to use any other methods of downloading libraries. That'll give you everything you need. Also assets. So if we have a project that has WAV files or BMPs, you're using a display for something, MP3 files, fonts, those will all be contained inside of that project bundle. So don't forget about those. Those are really, really useful. Click that, you'll just get a compressed zip file, and everything you need will be inside of it. So here is the code. I've gone over how the code works before, so I won't repeat that. Here is the feather case. So I used one of the Ruiz Brothers feather cases that has a battery space in the bottom and space for your on-off switch, as well as little mounting tabs on it. There's how it all gets kind of fed through. You can see right there, we're getting our on-off switch and power in that top layer, battery and the switch on the bottom layer, and then I'm using some little M2 screws to screw everything into place there. Here you can see I've got the little add-on antenna just for some extra range. I'm not sure if I needed that. I don't think I tried it with the regular one, but I'm not very far from a Wi-Fi hotspot, so I probably didn't actually need it. Just glued in the little switch there into the case, placed the battery on the bottom, mounted that antenna into the top of the lid there. It just gives you some better pickup. And there it is. It's all ready to use. There it is next to one of the grill thermometers. And then I've got a little link to how to get set up on Adafruit.io to MQTT broker. And then making this actual grill dashboard, you essentially set up one feed. An Adafruit.io feed kind of handles one sensor, one piece of info. So I create one feed per thermometer. So I have 6 of those little feeds, just numbered BBQ 1 through 6. And I also set one up for the battery. And then once we have all of those feeds, you can see them here, we can create a dashboard that references those. So here's a version of that final one. So you can see I created one temperature widget per feed. In that creation, you can tell it what the range is that you want to use, what the minimum range is before it changes colors to the good range. So that's where I said 120 to 165. And I also used our battery widget. So the alkaline batteries that are inside of the barbecue transmitter are also able to send their battery level. That's what I'm monitoring there. And I also set up a graph there just so I can watch the rate at which the temperatures climb. If you want to sort of study that data, you'll have that available. And there you go. There's the final with some delicious summertime meal going on right there. All right, so that's the new Learn Guide there. If you want, you can go just head to learn.adafruit.com and you'll see we have a set of new guides listed pretty prominently there, and that's one of the newer ones, so you'll just find it right there. Or you could search for grill. I think grill itself would find it pretty quickly. And yeah, there's some other really cool guides that just came out. The sound reactive hat, LED hat, top hat that Aaron did looks fantastic. Go check that out. As well as some of the new It's a Snap iOS app integration that Trevor and Brent worked on. There's a cool little project built using that service that I'd love to check out. Okie doke. Whoa, where'd I go? There I am. So, new thing, the new project I'm working on now that barbecue one is out and done is an Instagram photo frame. So let me head over here, and I'll put a fairly small me in the corner. You can see me over there. So this is. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here for a second so you can see the gizmo. So this is a Raspberry Pi 4. And this project will work pretty much any modern Raspberry Pi, a 3, a 4, a 5. But I've got a Raspberry Pi 4B with, I think, 2 gigs of RAM on it in here. This is the official Raspberry Pi 7-inch display. And this is a really nice case stand for it, which is called, oh, I'm forgetting the name now. What's your name? Smarty Pi. I think Smarty Pi is the brand. And this is a revision. We had a older version that I've used before. This is the first time I've used this one. It's really nice. It has a weighted metal base here. You could probably use magnets to attach that to something if you wanted. Let's see, before I'm a liar. Let's see. Yeah, so that's ferrous. You could maybe snap that down to something. It gives you access to USB-C so that you can power the whole thing. Internally, it has a ribbon cable to run power, data, and I2C to the touch display. So you can see this is. Oh, it doesn't want me to go over that window. This is a touch display, and it has power, video, and the I2C commands from the touch overlay, all going to the Pi internally with a little ribbon cable that it comes with. And you can additionally, there's a little cover here that I have on a position where you can mount a Raspberry Pi camera. So if you wanted to build some sort of a little video conferencing setup, maybe this could be kind of a neat thing for it. But the reason I was attracted to it is it looks kind of like a photo frame. In fact, you could probably dress this up with a fancy little wood frame around it if you wanted to. But the idea here was to build a thing that can be sort of self-contained, and in fact, you don't even really need, most of the time, you don't need the mouse and keyboard. All you really need is power for this. And it could be something that you build to give to a relative, maybe, as long as you can get set up with their Wi-Fi credentials. They could then use this in a way that will keep them happily watching your Instagram feed cycle in a little slideshow. So this example I have right here, it's a little overexposed. Let me just see if I can. Oh, no, it's not in a mode I can easily do that on. Okay, unfortunately, it'll be a little overexposed for some of these brighter images. But this is just a set of images from the Adafruit feed right here. And I don't have it set up right now with a way to cancel that off the touch screen, do I? No. So I'll be working on that. But here's a example. This is the one I was showing on Show and Tell of the Olympics Instagram feed. Let's see if I can sharpen that up a little bit. And so you can see, you just get this nice slideshow of Instagram post images that you don't have to do anything. You can just let it sit there. You can adjust the speed. I have it whipping through pretty fast right here, but you can adjust that in code, and I'm going to make that sort of one of the obvious user parameters to say, oh, let's go 20 seconds before we refresh, or 5 minutes, whatever you want it to be. And it's just going to cycle. You could do it randomly. I think I have it cycling just in sort of an alphabetical order or a date order right now through the images that it has pulled off of a particular Instagram feed. So that's the idea behind it. And then I wanted to show you how the basics of it work, and some ideas for making it stay current. So let me grab Control here, and I'm gonna zoom in as close as I can get. And I'm sorry, this camera does wobble just a little bit due to the air conditioning. So I'm sorry, there will be a little, it'll settle in a second here. I was just touching it, but it will be a little bit wobbly. I apologize for that. So the issues involved here, first of all, the fact is Instagram doesn't want you doing this kind of stuff. I think there are some official partnered gizmos that you can pay a subscription for that do this sort of thing. But it's kind of a cat and mouse game. I can't guarantee this will work 6 months from now or a year from now, given the exact method that we're using. And it's just simply because sort of walled garden type of things really don't want to play nice with other people. But at the moment, there is a method that does not require API keys that you can use. And it's an application called InstaLoader, which is running, at least under Linux, I'm not sure if it runs other places, but running very easily on a Raspberry Pi, that can simply go to a public Instagram feed and grab images from the feed. It can also grab video, it can grab metadata, it can grab captions. When I first started using this not too long ago, it would grab all the images. Well, I think I saw it grab like 300 before it got a little warning from Instagram and stopped. Now it's 12, and I think that may have been I think I had a cookie available for being logged in. So if you're not logged in, and I kind of recommend don't be logged in because you don't want Instagram to think that you're a bot and ban your account. I'm giving lots of caveats because this is the reality of how these things work. But in this mode, I'm not logged in, and I am acting like just a public. You don't have to be logged in to go to Instagram and see a few images. After a while, it says, "Hey, you should probably get an account." So this kind of works off of that principle, and it's called InstaLoader. So if I go into, I have a directory I made called Instagram Frame. The installation process for all of this is very simple. And really right now I'm just using two things. I'm using Instaloader to grab a set of images, and then I'm using a shell script to launch FEH, F-E-H, which is a nice little open source slideshow program. But let me just show you Instaloader first. So I've got a little reminder text here of how that works. Let me switch the camera views. So this is Instaloader. Profile, and then the name of an Instagram profile that you want to grab some images off of. Let me double check. What's the Raspberry Pi? Let's grab, since they've got fun new news today, they should have some good images up. So let me look. Raspberry Pi. Yeah, their account is just Raspberry Pi. Okay, so I'm going to say Instaloader. I'm going to spell that properly. Instaloader profile. Raspberry Pi, so that's the name of the actual profile. And then if we just hit this, it's going to grab, in fact, I'll do that. So this is going to create a directory for the name of the profile. Oh gosh, it's doing all sorts of failing. Is this not online? I wonder if I'm not actually on Wi-Fi. Let's see if I can get it back on my Wi-Fi. That was, I guess that's how Instagram tells you you don't seem to be online. Let's see if it'll connect. Please connect. And while I do that, I'm going to load up my Discord over here on the side so I can stay abreast of the conversations. Okay. Are you actually connected? That's a different, okay, maybe it's connected now. Nope, darn it. I think I'm out of, yeah, I should be in range of that. It's showing up. Let's disconnect and reconnect. Otherwise, I have another Wi-Fi access point I can try that's in here. Or I could run, do I have a long enough Ethernet cable? I'm gonna see if I can do that. Let me see if I can grab an Ethernet cable. This one looks long. Sure. When in doubt, hardwire it. So let's go. Hopefully I won't just cut off the whole broadcast. It's even a Raspberry Pi Red Ethernet cable. Good. Well, it looks like it thinks I'm connected on the Wi-Fi too now, but some way or another, maybe this will work. Okay, here we go. So third try is the charm. Yeah, okay, so it's created a directory for Raspberry Pi profile, and it is attempting to grab either images or video, metadata, captions from the posts. So it looks like they have 487 posts up. So I'm at 12, 11, 12. It probably will fail here. Yeah. So this is new. This didn't happen before, like I said, but this is probably a response on the Instagram side of things. It could be that a delay would fix this, but it's kind of like, hey, I noticed you're scraping and I don't like that. So it stops you after 12. That may just be the limit of posts you can look at when you're not logged in. But if we look in this directory, I now have a new one in there called Raspberry Pi. And in fact, let me just open up the file browser because that'll be easier to see. So in my IG frame directory, I now have a Raspberry Pi directory. And you'll see here are images. And again, sorry this is blown out. I don't think I have a way to adjust this brightness. And I can't really climb up to the camera and switch it to a mode right now. But these are, as you can see, these are either thumbnails from videos, regular images, or videos. And then we also get JSON file, which has metadata, compressed versions of JSON files. We have, let's see, is there a better angle? Oh my gosh, no. Let's see, is it better oblique? Yeah, you can kind of see that. So this is a caption. So it gets all the captions off of each post too. So you could overlay these if you wanted to in your slideshow. So that's the directory. Very hard to see. Sorry, directory of what I just downloaded. And then once we have all those images, we can display them using a slideshow viewer. So I'll take, let's open up one of my existing shell scripts. So this says display x authority home pi x authority user bin feh, which is the slideshow program, quiet, preload, full screen, hide pointer, slideshow delay, that's where it's doing 3 seconds, and then the path. So right now this is just kind of hard coded. So I'll just change this to Raspberry Pi. I'll do a save as Pi. And I will make that executable. Are you the one? Yeah. Execute anybody. Okay, so if you then left this just on the desktop for your user, sorry you can't see the shell script there, they could use the touch screen without anything else and execute that. So now this is going to be, it can be more than 12 images because it's going to grab, I think 12 posts worth of stuff. So if posts have 6 images in them, it does grab all of those. So you'll see some numbers higher than 12. And so kind of cool. So now we have the sort of latest. You're not going to, with this method, you're not going to grab the whole archive of them, but you've got the latest images. And what I'm going to do, the plan is to have it check every hour to see if there's new images, because it'll start at the newest and grab, and you can tell it to avoid duplicates. So there's some command hooks inside of Instaloader that allow you to just grab things that are new, and it'll stop bothering as soon as it reaches one that it already has. And that can be either just based on the image name in the folder, or also there's a little config file that stores some of that metadata, so it'll stop when it gets to one it already has. So just hit escape or Q and stop that. And so that's the basic idea behind it. And you can see, I don't know if it's going to be more legible if I zoom out a bit, but here's, I can unplug this now, I can unplug that cable there. So you can see we can have a neat little desktop picture frame there, off to the side, showing you whatever account you want. And you could, of course, extend this to look in multiple directories or subdirectories. I think your slideshow can look inside of multiple directories if you wanted to. So you could set this up with a few different accounts. So that's the idea behind the project. You can, of course, use any HDMI display you want. So if you wanted to take a little mini one like this and maybe put a frame around it, maybe run it vertically if that's the type of account that you want to show on there, dress it up a bit, pull it apart. I've done projects before where I've just used as much of the innards without the existing frame, like the haunted portrait project. You can do that sort of thing. So that is the idea there. We've got Tyeth just jumped in over on the chat. Hi, Tyeth. To say, it looks like Instagram preloads 12 and offers an AJAX request button to load the remainder of posts. It then eventually pops up a login dialog. Removing that from the page allows you to scroll all the posts. Installer will no doubt update to the latest method of image grabbing and support more than 12. Yeah, it's funny. It was literally just a week and some days ago before this change when it was just grabbing like, hundreds off of accounts, and then suddenly it changed. So that's a cat and mouse game, but it's kind of nice to see that this is a method that works right now without requiring the Meta developer API key thing, which is so much more complicated. So I appreciate this and the efforts of the developer. Mentioning previous similar projects, I did the haunted portrait. Bring up my browser for you there. So this is a project I did that actually uses the same little slideshow program, Fe, and I took a TV, gutted it, and mounted it into a real frame. I built resized a thrift store frame there. So you can see, let's see. Yeah, here you can see this was a little Vizio TV, and I kind of yanked off from that sort of casing down to the bare minimum, mounted it inside the frame there. One thing I'd recommend, I think that was fairly shiny. If you get a matte screen, they do look nicer. And then I mounted that with regular VESA mount to the screen there. So you can do that sort of thing with this. I'm working on a Learn guide right now for this new one, based on this little Raspberry Pi here. Oh, I just noticed, by the way, depending on how I launch it, I'm getting I'm not getting the taskbar to disappear on the Pi, so I think I had something with focus other than the shell script when I launched it. So I'll play around with some of those details and maybe reach out if people have ideas on some fixes like Tyeth has there that could extend the functionality of it. So that is it. That's the new project I'm working on. And thanks over on YouTube channel, NE555 said, I love that NES to your left. Thank you. Yeah, this is a lovely, sort of yellowed, unfortunately, NES that I got and cleaned up and fixed up. It runs well now. But all right. I think that's going to do it for today. So once again, a reminder, if you want to go grab some stuff in the store, you can grab any of those parts that I just showed right there. Those are I'll show you right now. If we go to the shop, Raspberry, not too wise, Pi 4B. Any of these versions would work. This would probably be the most cost effective. Looks like we have 12 of these in stock right now. That seemed like a sweet spot for this project. And then Smarty Pi Touch Pro is this case. Pretty reasonably priced for what it is. And you can see here all the parts it comes with, and there are extra ribbons and connectors for different configurations, but it'll work with a 3 and a 4 and I think a 5. But don't quote me on the 5, I can't remember. And this is the 7-inch touch screen, really nice. Basically plug and play, works very easily. with your Raspberry Pi. Almost no configuration. It just booted. You didn't have to SSH into it and noodle around to get the display to work. It actually just worked, which is great. All right. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by today. Scott is going to be doing a deep dive tomorrow with all sorts of nitty-gritty details on the brand new Raspberry Pi RP2350. So tune in for that. Oh, thank you so much for the reminder over in the chat. Paul Cutler says, don't forget, next Friday is CircuitPython Day, and that means I'm going to do my show on Friday, not Thursday next week, so my gosh, more change. But a lot of our shows are going to be shifted to Friday so that we have a jam-packed, wall-to-wall, 24 hours of non-stop CircuitPython Day. That might not be true, but a lot, as much as we can fit in. So I'll be doing my show on Friday next week instead of Thursday, as will the Ruiz brothers, if I'm not mistaken, and some other exciting interviews, show and tells, or all sorts of stuff is going to be going. So check our blog for more details on that. And if you have questions, you can head into the Discord chat to ask away. All right, anything else I missed in the chat? Let me just run through and see if there were any questions before I go. Toddbot posted there's an 808 and a 303 in the browser, so you can get your acid bass on. What else? Back when audio wasn't working. Thanks, Todd. All the pirates love RS232. Hey, by the way, can you join me in a quick happy birthday to Toddbot? It is Toddbot's birthday today. I don't know if you wanted me to say that to the whole world right here, right now, but happy birthday, Todd. Go have a fun day. Go get some ice cream or something. He's probably going to hate me for that. There you go. Happy birthday, pal. Oh, Thin Man, it'd be interesting if the Instagram feed could be ported to an e-ink screen. That's a cool idea. Yeah, I love that. I know there are some cool art projects that have played back. Tom Whitwell made a thing that plays back every frame of a movie over the course of like months, like 136,000 frames of a 90-minute film that just every 30 minutes you get a new image or something like that. Maybe it's every second, I don't know, but it's slow. Yeah, e-ink would be cool for that. What else? 40-inch TV has decided not to work anymore. Maybe a candidate for a project. Oh, yeah. Another interesting, a couple interesting LCD TV projects you can do. I worked with some magicians doing some illusions and escape room kinds of things. And a real popular thing was to peel off the polarizer from an LCD. There's a polarizing film. If you get rid of that, you can't see anything on it until you put polarizing glasses on. So you can do some neat sort of hidden in plain sight image stuff. That's one thing. You can also try to do like transparent displays by removing the backlight panel, and then you just get this sort of see-through hologrammy thing. What else? Live podcasts. There's going to be live podcasts during CircuitPython Day. Is that right, Paul? Tell us more. That's exciting. Everyone's wishing Todd a happy birthday. More important that it's 808 Day. I don't know about that. All right. I'm going to get in trouble now. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by. It's been a whole bunch of fun. I appreciate you joining me here in the workshop for all the shenanigans. And I will be back on Tuesday with a product pick of the week, and then we'll be doing a whole bunch of our stuff on next Friday for CircuitPython Day. For Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park. This has been John Park's Workshop. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.